Hey everybody, Money in the Bank just went off the air. Me and the captain, Shay Sawyer, aka Shay Sawyer, we are going to go on the air. We're going to give our reviews and thoughts about Money in the Bank 2023. We're going to talk about matches, the Money in the Bank. Oh my God, Roman got pinned? What the heck? So we're going to give our thoughts after these. Oh, we don't even have a. Do we have a thing? Oh, we do have a thing. Sorry, live.
Hey, listening audience, this is Mama Bad Guy, and you're listening to the Big Pop Theory podcasting featuring Captain Shakespeare and Bad Guy Jack.
Thing and stuff like that. But thank you, Mama Bad Guy. This is a Big Pop Theory podcast, and we're going live immediately after. Well, not immediately. It was like 10
Like an
minutes.
hour after. It's fine though.
But we're here to talk about um, Money in the Bank 2022. That is fantastic. You want to take that? Take that. Go ahead. I can take this from here. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is the Money in the Bank review 2023. I am the Grand Poobah, aka the Bad Guy, and I'm joined with the Captain Shay Sawyer. There was her bell rung for a minute, and that's fine. This is a live on YouTube, and if you guys are enjoying this, we're gonna give our thoughts on Money in the Bank. If you're enjoying this, please give a like, love, and share here on YouTube. And please, we have an audio podcast. We're not gonna go live. It's not even live, but we're not gonna record tomorrow for Money in the Bank. We're going to just sit here and tell you, hey, check us out on the audio, the repeat. We have it on Spotify. We also have it on Google Podcasts, and we also have it on the podcast, which was formerly known as Anchor. I am trying to figure out a way for us to be on Apple Podcasts. I have yet to figure that out, but we'll figure it out eventually. But we're going to give our thoughts on Money in the Bank. Shay Sawyer, she is back. Shay Sawyer, what was your thoughts on Money in the Bank?
No, I thought it was a really good show. Definitely 10 out of 10. I don't agree with some of the finishes, but I think it was a really good show overall. I really loved it. And there were some things that really, really stood out to me that I'm happy happened, and some things that really stood out to me that should have never happened, and I'm very upset.
There's a particular thing that I can think of that should have happened, but it happened. But I'm interested in hearing what you think about as we review the show and hear what you thought shouldn't have not happened, because I know what shouldn't have happened. If you're watching on YouTube, I won't wear this shirt ever again. This shirt was terrible. I think it was a curse. We are the ones. No, he is the one. I was real quick. I was surprised at that ending, honestly. I didn't expect him to be pinned. They kept mentioning how for 3.5 years or 2.5 years, because it wasn't a full 3 years, but 2.5 years, Roman Reigns has not been pinned. But guess what happened tonight? He got pinned. I mean, real quick, before we get into that main event, we break down. What did you think about him being pinned?
I mean, I guess a lot of people said it should be, one of the Usos, just from everything they've endured. So for that, I'd say, hey, that's cool. Shout out to you guys getting your lick back. I mean, y'all been needing to get your lick back for a while now. It's been how long has it been?
Almost. It's like 2.5 years.
Yeah, they've been needing to get a few licks back. So hey, you know what? Shout out to them.
And you know what? When they were doing their looks, I had an umbrella because no, we'll talk about that main event. I was surprised that Roman got pinned. I I guess when as the time goes on, I'll have my thoughts in process at the time. It's just we're reviewing it right after Money in the Bank, so thoughts are already just running rampant. But the first match for Money in the Bank, we also got to mention. I feel like it's important to mention this. It was out here in England. Oh, I said out here in England. I'm sorry. I live in New
You
York. I'm
said
lying.
Inglewood? I'm like,
No, no, it was out there in England. But I was acting like we live in England, but we live in New York.
I wish.
England seemed like a cool place, right?
Yeah, so I could be there and I could watch Love Island live, and I'd never have to use a VPN or anything.
Well, let me ask you real quick, Sawyer. Are you a fan of Rain?
Who?
Rain.
Sassy. No, I'm not. I actually hate the rain so much. You know this. I would never leave my home if it was raining every day. I just would never leave.
Well, no, I asked that because I just wanted to know because you're like, oh, that seemed like such a great place. Love Island. Oh, yeah. And
That's
then I'm
one
like,
negative thing, okay? That's one negative.
wow. Okay, she's attacking me because she's wearing pink. Okay. So we have the first match was they were out there in London, which was great, which was cool. But the crowd was great out there in England. I do want to throw that out there. They were really hyper out there for what was going on out there. The first match we had the males Money in the Bank, which was because I want to pop my co-host Rick O'Shea, Shinsei Nakamura, who has a whole theme. She muted herself because she don't want to laugh. But Shinsei Nakamura, who has a whole thing. Did you hear? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with today's artists. It's Little Uzi or something like that.
Uzi Vert, yes.
Yes, that's the best I got. Nakamura, we had LA Knight. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Logan Paul. I said Ricochet already. I'm sorry. I thought I wrote these names down. I do not have these names written down. Ricochet and
Logan Paul, and then they had Santos Escobar, and
thank you.
then they also had, was there another person or that was the last person? Damian Priest.
Damian Priest,
Cool.
yes. The winner. And can I sit here and say, like, I was really surprised by that because I did not see that being a thing at all. And I feel like we're missing somebody. And Butch.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. I mean, and he had a really good reaction out there too for being out there because he's an Englishman. He's an England man. I'm an Englishman. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing that all wrong. So he had a really great pop. I thought that this match was pretty fun. I thought this match was what I liked about this match was you had all these individuals out there who I feel like you make an argument for anybody to win this match. A lot of people already thought Logan Paul was going to be a winner. I feel like for the both of us, and I don't want to speak for you, but so please speak for yourself, madam. I said LA Knight is winning this, and LA Knight had the biggest pop of them all.
Mm-hmm.
I like the spot where LA Knight talks to. I'm laughing because I just thought it was funny, but he looks at Damian Priest and said, "Hey, we're over 6 feet. We should like team up."
That was childish.
But early in the match, he was already getting jumped talking about Logan Paul, so he had to come up with some kind of concept, right? Like he had to come up with some kind of way of, hey, how am I going to win this Money in the Bank, right? Did you ever at one point thought like Logan Paul had a chance?
Only because of the audacity that the WWE loves to have.
Mm-hmm. So. I never thought that he had a chance, honestly. I'm not even saying he didn't have a chance because I think anybody has a chance, right? You would sit there and be like, this person don't have a chance. And there's been plenty of Money in the Banks where you thought this person didn't stand a chance, and then they did. So I won't say I didn't think he had stood a chance, but I didn't see him winning. I mean, when you think about the World Heavyweight Championship that was just formed, what, a month ago? I sit here and go, so y'all made this championship because y'all want to do everything you could to not to have another part-time champion. Right. Logan Paul wins this and he wins the championship. He's another part-time champion. You don't want to.
No, I said literally. I was co-signing.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure, madam. Thank you. But you don't want to do that. So if you were to have him win, and then have him win the championship, I would say, well, why did we make this belt? You know, I thought the match was cool. I thought a lot of people had some really good spots. I like that Ricochet. This match is Ricochet. It's a hard comparison, right? So Ricochet, when he does these matches, he's going to flip. He's going to do all these amazing things. It kind of sort of reminds me of the early days of Money in the Bank with Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, when he was out there, you knew he was going to do something wild, and he was going to do these crazy things. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I had to think about it. I think it was SmackDown versus Raw 2007. When you can run up the ladder and clothesline people, and I remember doing that, and I clotheslined someone out the ring. I thought that was great. I was proud of myself. I didn't save the replay. I'm so disappointed. That was because of Shelton Benjamin. Ricochet was going to do amazing things. He was going to like fly around, flip around. I thought, and this was something that you shared on your Twitter, Sawyer, was there was a save with him and
Yep.
Logan Paul. I think he was about to go over, but Ricochet saved him just in time to hit the Spanish fly through the table. I thought that was such a good save, such a tremendous.
Yeah, because it looked like they were trying to push him off the ladder and they were supposed to fall into the tables, but Logan got stuck and was flailing, and Ricochet's like, you know what? Instead of looking like an idiot and say, I'm going to grab you and we can just toss ourselves over, I'm going to make it a Spanish fly. Oh my God. Like, that just shows how much of a, like, professional and just, like, how tenured he is to just have thought on his foot, like, on my feet, let's do a Spanish fly.
And you know what I think? I think that was always the plan, but he might have overshot himself. I don't know for sure, obviously, because we wasn't a part of the match. But the fact that he was able to catch him in time to do that, that was, and I agree with everything that you said. It's just so good that he was able to reverse that. There was a spot where it looked like it was going to be Logan Paul. I'm sorry, because it was so hard to keep up with every little thing in this match. But there was a spot where it was Logan, Nakamura, Ricochet, and one more person. I think it was LA Knight. And they pushing each other off the ladder. And I think this was just before that spot that we were talking about with the Spanish fly. And they're trying to push each other off, and they're fighting with each other. And it looks like LA Knight is going to get the win. And I think a lot of people had the vision. I had the vision. LA Knight was going to win. So when Damian Priest hits him with the Falcon's arrow, like a modified Falcon's arrow off the ladder, just to climb up and grab it, I was like, I had no idea about Damian Priest winning. I didn't even think that as a possibility. Damian Priest is your winner for the male's Money in the Bank. Sawyer, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I already like transmitted what your thoughts are, but please, what did you think about Damian Priest getting winning the Money in the Bank?
I was like, why? Like, for what? Why are we giving the forgotten member of the Judgment Day a consolation prize or something? Like, honestly, why? I was annoyed because why? Like I can't even think of why. Like, why? LA Knight is right there. Like, and this is another thing with WWE that really annoys me is the whole like just dragging it out when you know someone is over and you just drag it out.
Yeah.
Doing that with freaking Cody, it's like they've already reached my limit with that. It's like, okay, I was trying to understand you when he didn't win against Roman. It's like, okay, maybe you guys are dragging it out. You don't want him to just right away, But it's like now it's getting ridiculous and silly. And now they're doing it with LA Knight. Why not capitalize? Like, I'm so confused. Like, why are we going this route? Like, what does this do? Like, why? Excuse me. For what?
No, I honestly agree with you because like LA Knight is hot, and I feel like that was just the right choice to go to. And when they did not do that, I'm sitting there saying, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm all for swerves and you didn't see that coming, but I don't know what we were trying to do here.
It has to be a good swerve. Like what happened in the women's tag match, a good swerve.
We're gonna get to that match, and I'm glad that you actually mentioned that because that was the next match. Damian Priest winning. He was the male's Money in the Bank, and we will talk about how that plays in later on in the show for Money in the Bank. But guys, you are listening to the Big Pop Theory podcast. This is a live stream. We plan on to do more live streams here on the Big Pop Theory podcast. It's YouTube. We're gonna review pay-per-views. We're talking about other content to do, but if you look down below, we have all these other streaming. I'm lying. Social media things, and she's making a face. Awful. You can follow us on the Big Pop Theory podcast on Instagram, the Big Pop on Twitter. We have a Big Pop Theory podcast on TikTok. We're going to put some content out there. It's going to be great. And also here on YouTube. It's a lot of things. We're trying to grow this podcast. It's an audio podcast, so we're gonna put some content out here. My co-host right here, Shay Sawyer, she mentioned we gotta have Liv Morgan and Raquel against Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I gotta sit here and say, Sawyer, I was relatively surprised by this match. So, Liv and Raquel, they are the champions that never lost the championship, right?
Yeah.
Bet. And they want to win the championship back. But I said for myself, I was like, Ronda and Raquel. Ronda and Raquel. I'm sorry. I just created a whole nother universe.
A lot of R's. It's okay.
It's hard to keep up with the R's. Ah. That was funny. Thank you. Ronda and Shayna, they just won the championships. I wasn't really a fan of them beating Aladon and Alba Fire. They did what they did. It is what it is. What are you gonna do, right? But they are the undisputed champions, women tag team champions, and they go against Liv and Raquel, who never lost a championship. Bet. But I said, nah, Liv and Raquel, even though they just came back, cool. But Ronda and Shayna just won the tag team championships. Shayna said, I don't care. That shocked the hell out of me, Sawyer, when she sat here and choked her partner out. I do like the finish where Raquel, when she hits the power bomb on her, Liv hits the oblivions on her. Because I think if you're going to beat Ronda Rousey, it should be 3 or 4 finishers. And like you just can't beat Ronda Rousey. It just can't be like for funsies. I don't think that's the way you should go. So the way that they did it, I did like how she was defeated, but I did not see this ending coming up with Shayna turning on her. You gotta watch out for these Shaynas because they will turn on you. So what did you think about this turn here, Sawyer?
I just feel like why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I just really hoped that when Ronda and Shayna won the titles, that maybe the titles would get a better direction and it wouldn't be these every 2-minute reigns.
Sure.
But it's still the same. I think the last time they had a decent tag run was, if I could think of a tag team, the last time the titles were held with like some pride, Toxic Attraction. Because I'm put this together. If they put the titles together, I'm going to put all the history together of the tag titles.
Absolutely.
Last time, period. After that, it's been stupidity. And I'm over it. And it makes the titles look stupid. It makes Isla and Alba look stupid. Yet again. And okay, you guys love Liv, I get it, but like why? What and I love Liv too. Like I love Liv. I have been someone who's gone so hard for her, but I just feel like this didn't make sense. It makes the titles look silly when you're just tossing them around like hot potato. What? So we're gonna get Ronda and Shayna at SummerSlam? Y'all could have did that without the titles and left them firmly with Isla and Alba, an actual team that's been teaming for a while.
That the way you word all that was tremendous. No, because I agree to that. I don't understand, and because we've talked a few times on air, off air, and stuff like that. you want to make these women tag team titles feel important, and when you do something like this, it's hard to make it feel important. You know, I thought Ronda and Shayna holding the women's tag titles was like they can make prestige behind it because like you just can't have them lose. You just can't have them lose on any kind of way. You just can't have them lose clean or so. It's got to be something. And the way that they did it, and you know like right. So we have SummerSlam coming up. We're in July now, right? Is it in July that SummerSlam? I'm sorry, I forget at this point because it used to be August, but I feel like now they moved it to July, so I don't remember off the top of my head. Is
I
that
think
the
it's like
match? Which
end of July, beginning of August.
sure. Okay, let's say like beginning of August. So now they want to build this thing between Shayna and um Ronda, and it's just I don't know. It's like I'm not mad at it, but it's like I'm mad that you use the women's tag titles as a not as a like and you know this because we did a review show and I said these titles should not feel like props. They should feel like very, very important. But these titles don't feel important to me. Like it just feel like, hey, look, I'm holding this for the time week. Hey, do you want to babysit these things? And it shouldn't feel like that. I don't just say these things just to say these things, but these belts should feel important, but they don't feel important to me at all. And that's a terrible thing. You need to make these championships feel like an important part of the show. And when you don't do that, the fans are not going to feel that way. I know you're a big fan of women's wrestling. I know that for a fact. I know that you love and you want it to continue to grow. But it cannot grow if they just sit here and go, "Hey, you hold this, but then I hold this, then you hold this, then I hold it."
Right.
It's you understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
hoping that
there's
my
no
vernacular
type
is
of like, yeah, it's like it has no sacredness. Like you just tossing it, giving it to everyone, it loses its value. Like
right.
if everyone can breathe air, does it make air special? I mean, yeah, air is special because you need it to live, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I'm gonna never give up air. But no, I totally understand what you mean, Soy. I totally understand what you mean. I totally get what you mean. I'm just saying, and I understand that. I'm not saying everyone needs to have this. So like Gunther is close to a year, right? You have someone like um um Bianca Belair. She held it for 400 and something days. I'm not saying people need to hold these titles for over a year to make these titles feel special. That's not the point. But I'm just saying let's let these titles like breathe a little bit. I feel like, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Please, because I'm always open to being corrected.
Hmm.
They won these titles like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I believe so. It's either 2 or 3 weeks, but that's still an absurd amount of time. And how long are Raquel and Liv gonna hold it till SummerSlam? I worry.
Right? Like you want them to have at least a decent amount, a decent reign. And I don't know. I think they were surprising. But what do you think about Shayna turning on Ronda? I'm sorry, I had to think about my words.
If they had gone about the builds a little bit better, maybe I would care a little bit more. But it's just been so
Hmm.
secondary. Like I don't know. It just hasn't really hit for me. I feel like it just feels rushed. Like also just the way they lose the title so quickly, it just feels rushed. They're like, well, SummerSlam's coming. Let's like, come on. I can't like.
No, and I understand that. I was talking to a friend, and I was like, "Whoa," because that shocked me. That honestly shocked me seeing Shayna turn on Ronda because I never saw any indication about a turn. And maybe there was something I missed. I don't know because I maybe it was something I missed. But they were like, my friend was like, "Yeah, I saw this coming." I was like, "Oh, well, you're smarter than me because I didn't see that coming at all. This was random." I was like, "I'm not gonna lie." I said, "Oh!" I did yell. I don't not
Why are
like
you
that. It was
yelling?
because I live in New York. That's the best answer I got for anything. Why do you yell? Because I live in New York.
That's it.
Um, but yeah, Shayna turns on Ronda. Ronda
I
eats the
turned on my
pin.
mom.
You did. You should feel very bad for you. You should feel very bad. This is why your mother is the baby face and you are the heel. Yes, you
That's
are.
a crazy statement.
That is a Party City statement. And we had Gunther against Matt Riddle. I've heard a lot of stuff about what they've done on the Indies, and I'm pretty sure what they've done on the Indies was always tremendous. I didn't think this match was awful, but it just wasn't a hit for me. And this is not take anything away from these towns because I mean, look, Gunther. Uh, I don't think he's the longest reigning Intercontinental champion, but he's close to it,
He's
and
getting close.
he's done such a tremendous job on making this title feel so important. So there's someone in the chat that we are part of, UPR. Shout out to them, and they asked what was a more prestigious champion, the Intercontinental champion or the United States champion. I like Austin Theory, but the booking has been crap to me. I don't like what they've done. But Gunther? Oh my god, this guy has felt like a final boss. And I play a lot of video games. Well, very few because I like Mario and Sonic. So I have a selective amount of video games I like. So I can't say that. I don't want to lie to you folks. But this dude feels like a final boss. He feels like someone who, when you go for the championship, you're like, I need to bring my A game. Well,
Yeah.
for me, I would bring my C minus game because, No Mercy taught me nothing. Um, he goes against Matt Riddle. It's a fun match, Matt, and Matt didn't look bad. He looked as decent as he could be. Um, I had the opportunity to interact with Matt Riddle. He's such a great dude. He's tremendous. I hope for the best for him. But my guy, I always hope that he wears shoes because when someone steps on your foot, it's over. You're gonna feel that, especially with an injured foot. I don't have an injured foot, but I can only imagine what an injured foot feels like. Gunther taps him out. He hits him with like a It's not an ankle lock. It's a He wraps his arm around his ankle. It's a It's not a calf. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking of the actual vernacular of what this move is. All I'm saying is, it hurts. That's the best I can tell you. If you ever injured foot, you ever had an injured foot, it hurts.
No, thankfully, I've never had an injured foot.
Good. Then you don't know what this feel like because Matt Riddle tapped. I know I would have tapped. I would have tapped even without an injured foot. Because if Gunther grabs you, Gunther is the kind of guy, if I can mention anything about Gunther, you know how wrestlers have finishers? Gunther don't have a finisher. He just says, I'm gonna beat you. He might sit there. I remember the first time I saw a Gunther match when he was Walter, and he had that match with Pete Dunne. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it. It's NXT Takeover 2019. He beat him with a splash. I said, that's Gunther's finisher? And then, or Walter's finisher? And as time went on, I saw him beat people with a headlock, a power bomb. Pretty much Gunther was like, you know what? I feel like beating you.
He doesn't have a finisher. He has just when you've had enough. That's it. It's just when you've had enough. And then whatever move you happen to be in at the time is what you end up losing to. It's no finisher. It's just like, this is it. I can't take much more. That's his finisher.
You're literally not lying because Gunther, honestly, if I can just add real quick, when he beat Tommaso Ciampa, ask me how he beat Tommaso Ciampa. I think it was 2021. Just randomly ask me.
How did he beat Tommaso Ciampa?
He chopped him and then pinned him. My point, I'm sorry, Gunther is probably the greatest wrestler ever because you know how wrestlers have a signature move? Gunther just says, I'm tired of you. I'm sorry. That's the best I got.
That's it. It's just like, I possibly cannot take any more. That's it. It's it. Like, I didn't think Riddle was winning anyways. Like, no shade. Yes. It's just like,
yeah, I agree.
If Gunther's gonna lose this, I mean, I guess it might be to this man, this other man that just happened to come back.
Ooh, do you want to mention
Roman? Let's see. The way he
That was
says
a great. That was a great accent. No, you did
it, like
accent great. But who was a Roman?
Roman.
Roman. He always sounded like he had beef with this guy. And Roman's like
Roman. Listen, Drew
Roman.
literally makes me believe he has beef with everyone whenever he decides he wants to face them. I feel like, oh my god, like this is beef every time. When he came out with Gunther, I'm like, oh my god, this is beef. Like he could have came out to Roman. I'm like, oh my god, this is beef every time. It's the same thing.
Well, he had enough of Roman's beef because Roman has wrecked him. His Roman's beef has.
You've said
Okay.
Roman's beef far too many times. Like honestly, you've reached the quota. Your rate limit exceeded.
Okay, Elon Musk. Okay, like. But what do you think about Rome? I'm sorry, I said Roman. What do you think about Drew coming back?
I mean, we expected someone was gonna come back. I was
Yes.
hoping for the latter, as you can tell from my vote.
Yes.
But we got Drew,
Same.
which is not bad. Like I like Drew as well. Sometimes he can get a little 2006 John Cena sometimes, and it could be a lot for me. So sometimes I have to like take a step back. I'm like, just. But for the most part, I do love Drew. It's just when he gets 2006 Cena, I'm just like, I have to take a step back because I feel suffocated right now.
You know what I feel like with Drew? I feel like they're trying to give him the run that they wanted to give him in 2020, and you know what 2020 was. Like I think that's what they're trying to do. I mean, just to throw it out here, I don't know for sure, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
I mean,
Is
it would
like,
make sense. Didn't they do the same thing for Rhea? Because I feel like Rhea didn't get a fair shake at hers, and that was the same Mania, I believe. So maybe the
Yes.
timetables are matching up. That they're like, well, now it's time for you guys to get what you deserve. Rhea already got hers. Maybe Drew.
the only difference that I would add is that with Drew, he beat Brock right in 2020. I didn't understand in 2020. It's hard because 2020, and once again I just throw it out here. 2020 was a hard year to be a wrestling fan. It was very, very hard. But she lost to Charlotte that year. And I mean, granted, maybe things would have been different. It was an audience. I don't know for sure, of course. But I sit here and say that was the difference. She lost in 2020 to Charlotte because Charlotte just beats everybody. I mean, that's why they didn't invite her in the MCU because she would have beat Thanos. She would have beat Thanos. Thanos would have had the gauntlet.
Imagine him in the figure eight. I'm sorry.
Imagine there's a universe where he's already sitting there going, "Oh, he's tapping. Oh, this hurts."
That's what is it, 838? That has to be that universe.
It's probably.
When they lost, what did they lose? When they lost what was the name of the group? When they lost them, they didn't find a new leader to protect.
Which was it? Marvel.
Came over.
Oh, Wanda sat here and said, "You took everything away from me. I don't know who you are." And then
Wanda, what mouth Maxima?
Wanda wrecked the hell out of Thanos, and I laugh because it's real quick for Marvel because we always talk Marvel somehow on the show, but it's hilarious because when his henchman said, "Sire, they're ending. It'll aim at the ship or something. Just do it." I said, Thanos don't care about you guys. Like he just.
It was that moment that Nike wanted to sponsor him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
Then he
do
died,
it, right?
So.
Well, you know what it is. Nike loves the ball-headed people. They're part of the ball syndicate. The ball syndicate people. I saw that laugh. You can. This is live on YouTube.
So are we basically getting Drew and Gunther at SummerSlam? Is that what I'm picking up
It's
on?
looking that way, but see, here's my thing about that, right? I feel like they want to go with Gunther breaking the record of the Honky Tonk Man. So even though you have him going against Drew against Gunther, I'm a strong believer that Gunther is going to break the record for the Intercontinental Championship. But this is what, as you asked me that, I will ask you this:
What?
with Gunther breaking, the thought about Gunther breaking the record and someone else taking the title off him, do you think that when Gunther drops the title, that the person could Do you think that the person could fill Gunther's shoes? Is the best way I could word it.
I think only time will tell. Right now, like I don't see anyone right now that could, but with good booking, a couple of
Right.
weeks, that could change. So it's just all about time and seeing what works. I mean, I could see Gunther retaining at SummerSlam, and
Yes.
I think Drew was in a position like a few people I've listed off a few people that losing these, like at this point you're so established that when you lose it really doesn't make anyone feel any different, because I mean look at the response that Drew got. He's
Right.
coming
No, I
back, and the
agree.
last time we saw him I believe was at Mania when he lost, if I'm
No, you're
correct.
absolutely.
So,
No, you're absolutely right. I guess I just ask like, because I agree with what you're saying. It's all about booking, and it's all about making this. Because I'm a big stickler about so the Intercontinental, the U.S., and we've talked plenty of times. I feel like I just said recently about the U.S. title, but you want to make these titles feel important, and I think Gunther has done a great job, and I just want the next person to do that, to be able to carry this belt in such a matter where it feels important. Like, look, it's the Intercontinental title, it's the secondary title, but when I was growing up, excuse me, when I was growing up, someone like, and forgive me, I can't name every little name, but when I was growing up in the 2000, mid 2000, and you saw someone like Chris Jericho holding that title, I felt like that belt was special to me. Like for me, like don't get me wrong, I the world heavyweight title was always important. You always knew the importance of that. But I kind of, for me, once again, for me, growing up, and that's what the Intercontinental title was like. I would win that before the heavyweight championship. That's what that title should feel like. When you think about people, and one of your faves is Shawn Michaels. He won that title before he won the World Heavyweight Championship. One of my faves, Bret the Hitman Hart, he won that championship before he won the big one. And I'm just saying, you just want this belt to feel like before I win the big one. And there's a selection of few people who can win the big one before the Brock Lesnar. Could you imagine? And I remember in 2002, and I don't mean to go into a mid conversation here, but in 2002, I remember when I saw Brock Lesnar, I said, "Who's beating this guy?" Like, and he went against RVD, and RVD was my fave, bro. Like RVD was my guy when he won the IC title. I was like, yeah, I was pumped. But when he went against Brock, I said, "Oh, baby, no." I was scared for my boy. So when Brock beat him, RVD won by disqualification. I was like, we live another day. And I did the thumbs up because I didn't see how was RVD beating Brock? Like, nah, like just nah. But my point is, and I'm sorry I went to the tyrant, but my point is saying someone like Brock not win the IC title, fine, whatever. But the IC title should just feel important is what I'm trying to get at in such a comical way. Um but yeah, like you mentioned, uh um Drew Gulak. I like Drew Gulak. He's great. But Drew McIntyre shows up. Drew Gulak is great, right? Yeah, thank you. But Drew McIntyre shows up, and it's looking like that's going to be the feud. When you think about it, and I forget exactly, right, Shay, but Gunther when he retained at WrestleMania, he pinned Drew, correct? I mean, do you remember? I don't remember exactly as well. So I mean, I know it's just
I feel
randomly.
like yes. I feel like yes. I feel
I
like
think
yes.
he pinned. I think he pinned Drew, and Drew's out here for now. He can be like for revenge, but I think Gunther should beat Drew. And also too, this would be first full circle if I could sit here and mention. We talked about NXT being a part of Survivor Series 2019, and it was such. If I could take one of your quotes, it was such nasty work when Drew just beat Walter in like what 10 seconds. It was nasty to me.
That's why he
I,
should be able to beat him at least 10 more times to make up for that foolishness. So let's get it going. Let's go for the next one.
I'm sorry. It wasn't even like it wasn't even like it was one. It was like 10. Like he beats him and then he's like, "No, I'm not done. I'm not done."
He should beat him with a different finisher each time. That's what I feel. Just to make up for that, because that's how ridiculous that was. That what they did that day.
Can I ask you real quick, and we'll get into Cody Rhodes against Prison Dom. How did you feel? I don't think I ever asked you on air, but how did you feel when Drew beat Gunther or Walter at the time that quickly?
I was disgusted. It was just like, why? Because you know me, like my NXT and my NXT UK people, like I want them to be treated like the royalty that they are, because I think so many of them are so talented.
Right.
So that just really pissed me off. I was unhappy. Yeah.
No, fair enough. No, because I didn't understand it either. I was at, and I know you know the bar out here in New York. I was at Jack Dempsey's, and I remember I turned my head right, and I'm sorry, I'm doing the visual here. If you guys are watching, we're gonna make this an audio as well. But I turned my head, and then when I turned around, I saw Gunther was on the ground. I said, I've never seen that before. That was just like mind blowing, because Gunther is rarely on the ground. Like Gunther is just like he's pretty much beating you up. Like nah.
That's
So
probably
I
why
didn't.
they doing all this. They got to make up for that foolishness. Get them to 2,000.
Let's get him to. You said 2000.
Yes, 2,000. That's
We had Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and he won against also a part of AEW Fight Forever.
shout out to him. Just collecting all the video games. Getting some more.
Wait, hold on, wait, no, 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 no. I'm gonna have to argue with you here. Why isn't Nicolas Cage getting that same reaction?
Because like, who is Nicolas Cage? Is he a killer? Is he someone who's had to survive anything? Why is he in a game about survival?
Not for
That's
nothing.
why.
Not for nothing. Since I've retired from Dead by Daylight because I'm so great and I can't be caught.
I never hope to sleep at night.
Yeah, that's me sleeping on my side. Because it's comfortable. But I have to agree. When I saw Nicolas Cage in there, I said, "Well, I know I gotta admit that the eyeliner is scaring me."
They were taking a piss when they did that. They really were.
Well, that's nasty. So we have Cody Rhodes against Prison Dom. This match was. I feel like this match was basic. Honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say like 5,000 at the Tokyo Dome. This match was having to do. This match did what it had to do. Cody got the win against Dominic Mysterio. A lot of people was having the thought about not Dom. I'm sorry. A lot of people thought that Brock Lesnar would be returning, attack Cody, which would lead to their third match at SummerSlam, but that wasn't the case. There was no showing of Brock Lesnar because I'm sorry, I laugh at anything with Brock because Brock is probably like just chilling. And so when people make rumors like, yeah, Brock Lesnar's gonna show up, Brock is like, no. Just like flat out like, nah.
He'd probably be so confused reading it, like okay. Like seriously, they always say stuff. I forgot what was the last thing I heard. It was Grayson. Mm-hmm. It was something with Grayson, and then he responded to Indy Hartwell. Because she was like, I read on some dirt sheet that it was this, and he's like, no. Like, yeah, like what are you guys talking about? Like honestly, it's getting ridiculous. I feel like this match was kind of like whatever. Like it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't like nothing special. Like I'm not gonna be like, gotta go back to that. I feel like of all the matches Cody has had since coming back, that was probably the weakest for me.
No, and I agree to that. I agree to everything that you said. It was not the strongest Cody match. I think it was just to get Dom on in because Dom has gotten us so much heat. So you want to utilize that as much as possible. Like what Dom has been able to do. I was talking to someone. I forget who it was. It might have just been me just talking to myself because I'm great. But
more than likely.
Thank you. So there's like, how a lot of people they talk about like a lot of these younger wrestlers they talk about Jungle Boy, shout out to him, Hook, and there's a bunch of other wrestlers like young under 30 and Dom Mysterio, and they talk about who is over or got heat or got whatever. I forget the vernacular. And I go with no one's beaten Dom Mysterio. I agree, with the exception of if you take away all these younger wrestlers that we're talking about, I think that I'm sorry, I'm blanking on this man's name on AEW, and he was with Kenny Omega. Um, I can't think of the older guy name, but he's older, but he got heat. That's my point is what I'm trying to get at. But Dom Mysterio
Oh, you
has
mean
such
Don Callis? Something?
Don Cal. Thank you. Yes, I was blinking so hard, like I was blinking like this, like I would have lost a eye
I was
staring
confused
contest.
for a second myself, so it's fine.
No, you did a tremendous job. Thank you. But Dom Mysterio, he has such great um heat. I can see why they wanted to put him on here. Him losing to Cody doesn't do anything. It doesn't damage the heat that Dom Mysterio have. It just continued to push everything. This was a hard one to predict, right? So if I could sit here and talk real quick, like a lot of people, I can see why people were going to Dom Mysterio because they were already expecting Brock Lesnar to show up. Brock Lesnar was like, nah. So Cody winning, I think, was the right thing to do. So when he goes into this match against Brock Lesnar, because that's the match that they're going to go to at SummerSlam. That is the match that they are going to go into. Cody Rhodes against Brock Lesnar. Cody winning. I feel like he had to win. But do you think the outcome was incorrect, madam?
No, no, no way. No.
No, that's
No
fair. No,
shade, but it's like it's fine. Like
I'm sorry.
Dom is a chicken shit
You
hill
can,
heel.
so you know you can curse on here. You're fine.
I don't want. Listen, I don't want to get demonetized or whatever, or get any strikes. You know how YouTube is. But yeah, he's that type of heel. So when they lose, it really means nothing because it's like par for the course.
No, absolutely. And I think something like Dom, and when you think about, so if I can mention real quick, this might be a hard comparison here, but right. But lately, not lately, I played SmackDown. I'm sorry, I'm showing my age. WWE 2K23, right? And they had one of the matches because there was a John Cena showcase, right? And one of the matches was against Brock Lesnar, 2003 Backlash. And I say all that to say is meaning the following year, Cena got this great push, 2004, and obviously 2005 because he beat JBL for WWE Championship. What was that? WrestleMania 21. I'm sorry. There's so many WrestleManias. It's hard to keep up. In another 20 years, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna say WrestleMania. I'm not gonna add a number because no. But I'm saying all that to say is Dom losing, it doesn't hurt. The following year, as time better yet, if I can change my vernacular, as time goes on, he's going to win a championship. He's going to be fine. He's For God's sake, this guy is Eddie Guerrero's son, so he's going to be great. Don't you agree, Sawyer? He's Eddie Guerrero's son. He's going to do great. I'm just going to say, if he was Juventude's son, he would have been fantastic.
Yeah, you're so unserious. What is the next match?
So it's not the next match, but if we could talk about the segment, John Cena surprisingly showed up in England. You hear my time is now, something, you can't see me.
You don't have to sing the whole song.
Okay. I was gonna just say his audio.
I swear I couldn't hear Apu do. Like, please, no.
Okay. Okay. But John Cena showed up here on WWE Money in the Bank. And I do like that he was talking about, for the longest time, a lot of people, I think more of London, obviously, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to have a WrestleMania out there in London.
Yeah.
And they sent out the greatest babyface.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena is the greatest babyface in WWE. Would you agree to that?
Probably. I mean, I would have to kind of really look into it because I feel like Bret Hart was a really great babyface. There's other people that have been really, Hulk Hogan as well, even though I don't know. But, he was, very big babyface. Like, that's the truth. Like, from an unbiased mindset that I can have. That's
The
the
fact
truth.
that you said Bret Hart, you just won me over. But no, he's one of the greatest babyface, and I say that because like as much as I love Bret, everyone knows how much I should have wore a Bret Hart shirt, but I wore this shirt. We the ones. I bought this and I felt like I needed to wear it because I bought it.
Well, that's fine.
Um,
You don't want to waste your money,
I had a bunch of fries that I ordered from DoorDash, and I just have to eat it, because I don't want to waste money.
sir.
Um, yeah, I'm sorry, but John Cena is so great at what he does. He's been a babyface, even when people thought about him being a heel. There was a thing I shared on Twitter. I forget how many days ago, and he said, "Hey, look, I turned heel," and he turned his heel, and I said, "I love this guy. Like, like, why am I booing this dude?" And matter of fact, even now, like, do you feel this way now? As years went on, I don't know if this was you, growing up, right, madam? But I know, and I told you this. So, real quick, 2013, it was Barclays Center. I went to a WWE Raw show, and I went with my father, and I tried to train him to boo John Cena, and he had this fear that John Cena was going to only hear him and attack him, so he didn't boo him. To the fact that when we went there and everyone booed him because Brooklyn is rude. Brooklyn is a rude borough, right underneath the Bronx, because the Bronx is extremely rude. Um, not no shade or no cap. Um,
You
I said no cap. Um, so what I said is it stands. But my father asked, "Why are we booing this man?" I said what I said at the time. I won't repeat it. I just said he sucks. And he said, "Oh yeah, okay." My point is my father never booed John Cena. I booed him, and I regret booing John Cena because that was rude. But now I want to hear your story about booing John Cena, because I know you booed him.
I already told you I booed him because he stopped rapping full time. It upset me. I had a reason. I had an actual reason. So
I had a reason too. He
no,
wore
your
Jordan.
reason was ridiculous. You guys' reason was ridiculous. I had an actual reason. I was upset. I was like, so you just gonna stop rapping? Rude. Very rude. I like some of his lines.
We're gonna move forward because I don't know what's happening here on the show. But no, John Cena and Thugonomics was great. How happy was you? Because you was there real quick before I go any further. You was out there for, I forgot what number it was, but the WrestleMania, and he came out with the Thugonomics. That was the last time that they did a one night
I was
show.
here. That wasn't me.
You was there, but that was the one where 2019.
Was it?
He was out there. I forgot who he rapped out to. Elias came out, and then he came out to Thugonomics. That was 2019.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
was the
like
one with.
maybe I'm just like blocking it out. I mean, I like the
Fair
thugonomic
enough.
stuff, sure.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm sorry. I
It
put
was
you
a
on the spot.
long day. I'm glad that they do 2 nights because it was actually so long that I had to block out a lot of it. That's probably why. Like I had to sleep. I had to sleep.
Fair enough, and I apologize. I was just asking because I knew you was out there for that show, so I apologize about that. Um, but yeah, he comes out. He talks about London loves him. They give him a great reaction.
Yep.
I see on Twitter a lot of people sitting there saying we booed this man. I'm like, yeah, we did, we
I
did,
did.
we
Yep.
did,
He
we
can
did.
stop
Let's
rapping
not
and I'll do it again.
that. She will stand 8 toes on that one, but we have he comes out there. London loves him. I love that they sent out Grayson Waller for this. Grayson Waller, I think he did a really good job on this segment. Hold his own on someone who is considered a GOAT,
Yep.
and he did great. I mean, uh, just as for me, because I'm not too sure, but he's hurt, right? Like that's why he hasn't
I
competed.
believe so. Yeah. I said it's something with his knee, his leg. Yeah, definitely. I love it because I feel like they test a lot of the new guys
Yes.
against John. I feel like they threw Grayson in the water and he swam.
You know what? I'm glad that you said that because you know how many times that people have won against someone like John Cena. John Cena. Oh my God. You know, when you think you're good, then you go against John Cena. He's like, no. He was able. John Cena was someone who I respect. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, but he ate him alive. What was that? 2018, 2017. I forget the exact year, but he ate him alive. I know you like The Rock, and it's hard for me to
No,
say that. Oh,
I'm
okay.
not having this argument with you because we'll be here for 20 hours.
But
No.
I'm just saying. My point is, he's okay. Can I word it like this? Let me word it like this. He stood toe to toe with The Rock. Can
Okay,
I
I'll
say
take
that?
that. I'll take that.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause I know how you feel about that. I
CM
know.
Punk ate him up though. Talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Yeah,
I'm
CM
saying
Punk
he
did.
did.
No, he did. No, he did. You're not talking about the pipe bomb, correct?
No, I'm just talking about several times when they came verbal to verbal and CM Punk got up in them jean shorts. He got up in them jean shorts. Yeah. Yeah, sure did.
I'm not gonna lie. I already knew the vernaculars. That's why I sat there and said.
I got it, caught it though, right? Caught it. Got up in them
No, but you
jean
know what's
shorts.
funny? If I can sit here and say real quick, I don't want to go too off the track, but there was one that I thought was so great, right? So CM Punk is just because CM Punk don't care, right?
No, period.
So when he talked, there was one where he said, "You ever care everything you don't like," because CM Punk. I mean, I'm sorry, John Cena's from Boston. Boston and New York have this rivalry in baseball. I can't explain it. But he said, "You became everything you don't want to be. You became the New York Yankees," and then that's when John Cena swung at him because he was like, "I'm tired of you."
He said, "This is the last straw. Now I'm about to fight you." Period.
But he mentioned this. Grayson Waller, they have an exchange. He attacks him. Grayson Waller is great because on Twitter he said England. This is nothing more than a poor version of Australia. And I thought that was great because he just gets good heat. Like you mentioned before, he's so tremendous on when it becomes his vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
And you saying even some like it
And
like
he's
the test.
quick-witted as well. That's
Yes. No, absolutely, and I agree to that. There was something when we would review the NXT show, you always mentioned how good he was, and I think more you was talking more about his character rather than his in-ring stuff. His in-ring stuff is pretty good too. I won't. I don't want to sit here and say like, that's it's good. I
he
guess it's
definitely
this way.
can perform in the ring. It's just like
Mhm.
his character work and his mic work is just so good that it overshadows. Very similar to like LA Knight, I feel.
Yes, who should have won Money in the Bank?
I'm
Mind you,
getting mad every time I think about it, honestly.
I don't want you to get mad, but
I would rather see a WrestleMania in Australia.
oh yeah, you would like a WrestleMania? Okay,
I would love it
all
in
right.
Australia. No, I don't want to hear nothing about the UK.
Angle?
And I just want to say that, no wrestling company owns the UK. So
No.
anyone could do a show there. It's not like a place where only one company can do a show in the UK. I just have to, I feel like I have to say it because apparently only one place owns it. And once they do a show there, no one can do it there or else it's competition. So, God, please. Like,
it's the pink in my co-host because I see you're the hit woman tonight.
I'm saying like that's such a ridiculous rhetoric. It's so ridiculous.
We had the women's Money in the Bank. We had Trish. We had Zoe Stark. We had Becky Lynch. We had I was gonna say Damage Control, but let's separate them.
The Judgment Day. If you ask Samantha. I'm sorry, that was so funny. I love how she tweeted it was because of mommy. That was so
well,
funny.
Yeah, no, I mean it's easy to be
really representing the Judgment Day. I said, well, goddamn, nobody told me.
No one told, and when no one tells you, that's a problem. But we had Bailey, Io Shirai, and I'm missing one more person. I'm sorry.
Zelina Vega.
Thank you. Who did you have? If I can ask you real quick before we break down this match, who did you have for this match?
Io Sky, but I had
Same.
Zelina as my second option. My hope.
No, and I say that, and I ask that because Selena was becoming the point because last year, I'm sorry, I'm blinking. Liv Morgan won.
Yeah.
And she won, and a lot of people had no expectation about it, except you. You Shout out to you because when you believe in someone, you believe in them. Just like when Nintendo believe in me when I play as Mario. You know nothing about
Mr.
Mario.
S rank.
No, that's Sonic. Look at you. You think you was so
I
clever.
don't know all your games, okay? I only know my games. It's about 4 that I played.
Yeah, and I dominated in those games. Rude. But Selena Vega, a lot of people had expectations about her winning, especially when you think about her performance. We're in July now. I'm sorry. 2 months ago at Backlash. I'm hoping I got that correct.
It's Zelina.
I said Zelina.
Z.
I said what I said. I said Zelina.
You said Selena. You said Selena. I'm gonna go back. What time is it? 1 hour mark. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna send you the video.
Ah! But Zelina, a lot of people had faith in her being the one, and I can see why, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and I know you had a few picks, and I think Zelina was one of you, and not even I think Zelina was one of your picks, honestly.
Yeah. It was Io, and then because I feel like Io has the most momentum going into the match, but I felt like Zelina also had some momentum as well, but Io might have been an inch or two more. But then also my chaotic pick was Trish Stratus just for the drama. But you know what? Now that today ended up with the rate limit exceeded, it wouldn't even been any fun on Twitter because I wouldn't even be able to see anybody's tweets. So whatever.
Darn it, Musk! Musk on a Musk.
Okay.
Musky behavior. I'm sorry, that was me. Don't delete my tweet because that wasn't a tweet. But this match was what it had to be. I mean, you talked about Trish winning, and I could see where you wanted just chaos. That was chaos, right? That's what you was gonna go for, chaos. I didn't see Trish, Becky, or Zoe being in there. It was great that Zoe was out there because she had an opportunity to show what she can do. Io has been, and you talked about momentum, right? Io has been building momentum since, it might have been even longer, but I'm going to go with Backlash. When you talk about when she was out there in that Puerto Rico crowd and people were really rooting for her, because Io is great. You know how great Io is because you watch NXT. So you've already knew the talent. It was just hoping that main roster crowd would see what we saw. That's always been the biggest thing when it comes to these NXT talents, because you know how talented these. I think Dakota Kai is talented. I really, really, really do. I just hope that this audience see what we see. Because I hear people and they say, "Oh, Dakota's talented. Dakota's talented." So I was happy that she won. I love how she won because
it was symbolic.
Why do you think it was so symbolic?
Because it was her stepping over these two names that have kind of had a hold on, the women's title main event scene. Bayley in her time, Becky in her time, and her handcuffing them, stopping them, and stepping over Bayley.
Ooh.
That's bringing in a new era, a new person stepping into it. I'm just saying, it was a symbolic, great photo, great image. It meant so much. And also, it was great because in some way, while Trish wasn't even in the ring, she still hindered Becky because of her having Zoe introduce the handcuffs in the first place. So she still hindered Becky. She did what she wanted. I feel like Trish, she didn't really want to win the briefcase. I feel like it was more of not letting Becky win, and she still got her way inadvertently. So it was a lot of stories told. It was Becky still being hindered by Trish without her even being in the ring. She's so meta brain. And her stepping over, literally stepped on Bayley's shoulders to get to the briefcase. There's so much symbolicness. And then her being a top 2 of the most prominent faces within the women's division.
Right. And also too, and I know we still have Charlotte here in the business, not even just the business, but the company. Yeah. But you think about the 4 horsewomen, and you think about the now Mercedes Moné, you think about the Becky Lynch, you think about Bailey, you think about Charlotte Flair, and someone who goes like,
Oh my god.
yeah, I'm not a 4 horse woman. I'm sorry, what did you want to say?
She's beaten every 4 horsewoman.
She has.
Did she not
I don't
beat? Did she beat Sasha when they had that match in Great American
she's
Bash?
she
She
beat
beat Charlotte
Sasha.
for the title when they had the triple threat. I believe it was a triple threat. And then
She pinned.
technically,
She pinned. But I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off.
okay.
But she technically pinned Rhea. I mean,
Listen,
she won the match, but
technically still got that W. So she's beating them all. My God, she's amazing.
has she beaten Bailey?
I mean, she walked over her. That was her beating her. She was in the match. Whoever was in the match and didn't get the briefcase, you lost.
Okay, I love you.
And
okay.
also, I'm sure her and Bailey are gonna fall out after this. So I'm sure she
absolutely.
beat Bailey 1, 2, 3 on the mat very soon coming. So
and and if I can just sit here and add to what you're saying, please, is that Bailey's so giving. Like, she's very, very giving. So she would definitely be someone like, let's put this girl over because she knows Io is going to be a star. Listen, Bailey, I mean, she's still young. She's still capable of still having some time in the business and all that stuff. But I think she knows, like, someone like Io, it's her time in the sun, almost like something like, and I think you would appreciate this. Triple H and Batista, 2005, and I. Sure, go. You want to take the floor?
No, I totally agree with what you're saying, wholeheartedly. But the thing about wrestling, which is something I love, is no matter what your age is, at some point it could be your turn again. Just depends on the crowd, if they're feeling you in that moment, if the momentum's right. So it's like, yeah, right now it's not. It's more like it's Io's time. Like, it's just her time. Like, you could just tell, you could feel it. Same way it was LA Knight's time, and they missed it. You're annoying me. Luckily they got that right. So it's the same. Stop it. But yeah, no, it's like this is her time. But it could be Bailey's time again. Bailey is amazing. So why not?
No, absolutely, and I agree to that. And I wanted to add to that because, like, when I think about when 2005 when Batista won, he beat Triple H 3 times, 3 times, and not for nothing, Triple H ended up still being like I think like a 14-time champion or something like that. My point is Triple H. There was a visual Triple H with the championship. Is my point. Is what my point is. Okay, so we had Io winning. I thought it was great, and you mentioned a lot of great things. I just want to add real quick. Yeah, Trish wasn't trying to win this. Trish is so established, like how you mentioned. She's established. She's a Hall of Famer, and she just wants to get in the ring with those talent. Like, she had an opportunity to be in the ring with Zelina, and I thought that was really cool when you have them facing off with each other. Zelina get an opportunity to be in the ring with someone as iconic as Trish Stratus, so that was cool.
That's her low-key twin. I'm telling you, like, their facial structure is so similar all the time. Like, I don't know why people don't bring it up more.
Wasn't people comparing her more to Mandy Rose for a period?
Just because they had
blonde hair, right?
They had like blonde hair and the body and stuff, but it's like facially.
Right.
If you look at it facially, she looks so much similar to Zelina Vega. Look at their faces. I'm telling you.
No, you could tell because I agree, and it's also to the nose. I think it's more
the
like
nose and the mouth area. They're so similar. Their smiles are very similar. Their eye shape is kind of like very on point. Listen, I can go into this, but
that's my co-host, and I don't even want to disappoint my co-host here, but we had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. We had Seth Rollins against Finn Balor. Finn Balor for the last 2 weeks has just been attacking Seth Rollins for no reason.
As he should.
And just I don't understand why was Finn Balor attacking Seth Rollins?
What do you mean? He's getting his lick back. What do you mean?
I think Finn
Seth
is married out.
It. When they showed, listen, I can't believe how insensitive you are after they showed that promo package and showed Seth laughing in his. I remember, like, I was You know what? I was there. I
You
actually
was
wasn't
there.
alone that night. I was crying.
was
I actually
there.
have a video of me screaming "No" as he's walking up the ramp. Like I was.
I still want to see this.
I
That's great.
no.
Can I, if I can add real quick, right? You're absolutely right because not for nothing. When they showed the video, I was like, yeah, Seth, you was wrong for
Exactly.
that. You was
He
wrong
had
for
every
that.
right. So that's why I saw so many people tweeting like, damn, maybe Finn is not the villain of this. And I was like, exactly, thank you. He is not the villain in this story. It is literally Seth. He should have lost today. And it's so nasty that leather pants bandit did what he did, and he will never be forgotten. He'll be the second. He'll be joining Baron Corbin. Actually, since we watch NXT Gold Rush this week, he'll be joining Baron Corbin in the failed Money in the Bank cash-in crew. He'll be joining him. Yep.
I want everyone to forgive my co-host. I don't know where this it's honestly the I don't know what it's from. I don't know. I have theories, but not an Austin theory, but a theory. But this match was what it had to be. I mean, look, I know that we have a prediction poll and all that stuff, right? And you was hoping for your boy Finn. A lot of people was actually really hoping for Finn. It wasn't even just you. A lot of people was really hoping for Finn.
Who never voted.
This match was good, but it wasn't as good as. I'm not going to put this match in the 2016 bracket. I think there was a lot of matches that was a lot better. Honestly, but it did what it had to do. The story here and the story here was Finn wanted to get his look. If I can take your vernacular here, look back because in 2016 he got hurt, and it wasn't even that he got hurt because Finn was even saying, it's wrestling. You're gonna get hurt, but you laughed in my face. She's muted, but I already knew she was like, yeah, that was wrong. But she says, but pretty much
I think that they held back a bit because I don't feel like this is the end. It didn't feel like the end to me. Seth didn't win. He didn't win honorably, and if he was a real champion, he'd want to win in an honorable way. That's just me. So for him, he should go on Raw and be like, you know what, Finn, clearly you were distracted and we need to do this the right way. If he's really about it, if he's really the champion he says he is, that's all I'm saying. So I don't think it's the end. So I think they were holding back because there might be something else. There should be something else. And yeah, but definitely the SummerSlam match and even that one match they had on Raw one time. No, actually, it might have been the one they had on Raw might be equal with this match for me personally, but the SummerSlam one they didn't touch.
Talking about no. Which Raw? I'm sorry. I'm not.
This was when Finn was when he remade the Bullet Club, but it was like Balor Club something. It was something they was calling it something. And Seth had brought back the curb stomp.
I know what you're talking. Yes, okay. That match was pretty solid. Yeah. Because I feel like there's been so much. I'm sorry, I'm gushing, but there's been so many other matches that these guys have had that was a lot better. And this match, it wasn't awful. Like that's the thing. It wasn't awful. It was just like I felt like it was paint by numbers, if you ask me. And I feel like
held back. They were holding back.
Yes, and I felt like there was so much more, and I think they wanted to also tell the story of Damian Priest. He comes out there, he has the briefcase, and he's teasing, and Finn is like, "My dog, like,
my dog." Oh my god!
No, but Finn felt so betrayed. He was like,
"As he should."
You promised.
Damian's nasty. He's a nasty person for doing that. Because why would you do that?
I want you to know
he's mad because no one ever pays attention to him, and now he wants to do the absolute most. And he's basically like acting out because he feels like he's being neglected, and it's honestly not my problem. So he needs to stop getting in the way of Finn and his things. Honestly, where is Benito? I need him to come back and cost him. Like honestly, like where is Baboni? Baboni.
The only bunny I acknowledge is Bugs Bunny, because that's the only bunny that matters, because he is tremendous and he's great. You're saying a lot of things, Sawyer, but I'm going to sit here and correct you. So I'm going to sit here and say this. Wrong. So I'm going to sit here and say also, too, Bad Bunny cheated in this hardcore match. He had help from Carlito with his tremendous afro, and shout out to Saudio Vega, because he had a great interview with a friend of ours, Mike Knox. Mike Knox, he's great. He interviewed him, and he's tremendous. But they cheated. And yeah, I felt like Damian Priest was robbed, and now Damian Priest is getting what is his. But let me ask you this real quick: do you feel like that's going to be the match at SummerSlam? It's going to be a triple threat: Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins.
I think it should be that, and I think Finn should be able to pin Damian. So Seth, they want to let him look good. He could look strong and not get pinned. Shout out to you. He doesn't even need to have this title. Truth be told.
Talking about Seth.
Yeah, honestly, he doesn't even need this. Anyways, just another thing that he's gotten in the way of for Finn yet again, because that's just what he loves to do. It's literally his favorite thing to do. Literally, actually, his favorite thing to do. It's a hobby of his. So yeah, that's what should happen. Damian should actually give the briefcase to Finn for doing this, because, like, why were you out there? You're so childish. Why were you out there? You clearly were not out there to help. So you were just there to stare and be a distraction. Like, what's wrong with you? And I want to hear his response. Like, I deep voice lies. That's it. I'm so irritated because Finn was literally going to win. He was beating Seth down. Seth was weakened. He's about to do the double stomp right on them ribs. And Damian distracted him. Like, what a nasty person for everything that Finn has done. Like, truth be told, did Judgment Day really have motion until they added Finn? Sorry. Like, I'm just saying, maybe that's the problem. He's upset because when Finn came in there, he was obsolete.
Well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna hardly move on here because I don't know what's going on here with my co-host, but yeah, Finn he loses to Seth Rollins, and it looked like this feud is going to continue, which is good. I mean, and it adds layers too when you add someone like Damian Priest into this match with you had layers with Damian Priest and Finn. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. I should just have it right here by my side. So yeah, Finn takes the L. Finn is not happy with Damian Priest, Damian is mentioning, like, I wasn't cashing in on you. And
so
it looks like
out there, dust bucket. I'm so sick of this.
And it looks like Damian is totally out of the. How long do you think? This is a random question. I know it's not just off the top of my head. How long do you think until Damian Priest is kicked out of the Judgment Day? If you had to just
Monday, I hope it's this Monday because I need him to be away from Finn, and his bad energy needs to be gone from him because he's actually ruining Finn's life. So just get out. I hope he announces it this Monday, just like I've decided to leave the Judgment Day. Just go. Just get out.
He's ruining Finn's life. Oh my
He's a part of the problem.
I don't know how to follow up with my co-host here because she's on fire right now. Thank God you're not in the forest right now, because the forest would be like no.
Yeah, we don't need any more orange air, so thank goodness.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna try to keep it professional here because my co-host, I don't know what's going on. That was
terrible. We don't want that again.
That was awful. I agree. We had the Civil War, not by the MCU, by the way.
Why did they name it that? Like, why was it named that? That was so stupid. It was irritating me the entire time. Like, why is it called the Civil War? This is a tag match between the families. Like, why was it named the Civil War? Like, literally, I was losing my mind the entire time. Every time Michael Cole would say Civil War, I was like, stop saying it. Stop saying. Oh, and you know what? Michael Cole, Finn claims that Seth laughed in his face.
Oh my God! Yes,
it's on camera, Michael. It's on camera in 4K. What do you mean it's a claim? It's not a claim. A claim is something you don't have footage. You watch the footage.
You know what? Not for nothing. I have to agree with this because I don't like agree with my co-host a lot, but she has a valid point here because when she said when he said that, I was like, but it's on footage, Cole. Like you just saw it, Cole.
Literally.
I'm not gonna help you if you're gonna keep doing that.
Literally.
But no, I agree to that because I was sitting there saying like it's literally right in front of you. Like I like. I feel like Michael Cole.
What? That just makes me think that Seth has him in his pocket.
Seth wear tights. He's not wearing. He don't have pockets. I just want to throw it out there. It's not like I remember one time you told me someone had you on the palm of your hands, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Let's move on because we had this civil war, a civil bloodline war. Usos against Roman and Solo Sikoa. This was the main event, which I thought should have been the main event. I saw online there was this rumor about Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio being the main event. And no disrespect to those individuals, I think Cody Rhodes is great. He's in every video. Oh, you didn't see that online about?
I did not see that, and I would have just been like, "Why are you lying like this? Like that don't even make sense."
There was something online floating for a while, or at least the last day or two, that Cody and Dominic, and the only reason that I could have thought that being the main event was because Brock was going to show up, and Brock, obviously, as we can tell, Brock didn't show up, right? But that was going on for a day or two. And we had instead, this is the main event, as it should be, because it's Roman Reigns, right? Like, I feel like this should be the main event, especially with the ending. What the ending was, I feel like that. But we have Roman and Solo against the Usos. This match was, back and forth. I had if I can ask you, who did you have for winning? For me, Solo. I had Roman and Solo. Who did you have? If you remember.
Yeah, I thought Solo and Roman were gonna win.
This blew my mind, girl, because like I remember us doing we were recording, and I remember you saying, "Oh well, I don't mind if Jay pinned Roman before." For me, I felt like if anyone pinned Roman, it needs to be a big deal.
Yeah.
And if it happens, it needs to be he loses the championships. That's just personally how I feel. Wrestling is so subjective. We have different opinions, and it's great, and that's tremendous because I appreciate your opinions and everything that you point out because it makes me go like, oh, maybe I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
But when Roman got pinned by Jay, Jay, I said, wait, what? I remember looking at the TV, and I had a friend write me, and I said, I need at least like 5 minutes to myself because what the heck had just happened?
It really makes sense because he is the first member of the bloodline. He is the one that was there to help start this whole journey, and he was the one that suffered the most from Roman. Like when you really look at it, even though Sami Zayn, like he's actually getting on my nerves because he keeps saying the bloodline when he literally sought them out. He literally sought them out and keeps trying to act like they kidnapped him and like waterboarded him and then made him join it, and then him sitting, I've been waiting to see this. Like, get out. Like, you're actually obsessed with Roman. Like, that's what it's seeming like now because you would think when you're done with him, you would mind your business, go do something else. You're sitting up in the rafters watching. Like, leave him alone. You cannot be a victim if you literally sought out to be in the bloodline. No, Jay was forced through family and through, stuff like he felt forced on all ends, so he was the true victim, the first true victim of Roman, so he deserved this pin. Correct.
I was sitting here and say, like, when he got pinned, it shocked me, and I think that's what they were going for, and I think that's why this was the main event, and which it should be the main event. Main event when you go for that ending. And when they did that, I It was like, whoa, like I didn't expect that at all, especially when you talk about when you think about for the it's not 3 years, but 2.5 years that he hasn't been pinned.
Crazy.
Um, I was shocked. I don't know. Did you feel shocked?
They said Baron is in NXT saying he was the last one to pin Roman. We gotta rectify this. We have got to. I mean, I wasn't. I've told you my thoughts because I feel like I already said this to you. Like I felt like
Yes, ma'am.
Jay was the rightful person to get that pin, just for like he was the first victim. It has to begin and end with Jay.
Yeah, I was shocked only because I felt like they were doing everything they could to protect him from um I don't know. I just I was shocked. And when he got the three, I was like, whoa. I expect him to kick out, but I get also too to protect Solo because Solo is somebody that I was talking to a friend and he was like, yeah, Solo is so good. And Solo is great. I remember watching him on NXT when we were doing the review shows and we would say, oh yeah, he's great, he's good. And this was before he was even doing the the Samoan Spike. Um so I thought that I mean, not for nothing as a reminder, Solo listen, Roman is great. He's always gonna he's my goat. He's my goat. He's one of my goats. But Roman and Solo as a tag team sucks because they don't win. They don't win. I don't think they've ever won as a tag team. I think this tag team experience is thumbs down.
They're
But
solo guys, okay?
huh?
They're solo guys, okay?
Oh, stop it! You trying to be? Look at you trying to be so funny. Stop it! But that was good. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you that. There we go. But yeah, that was pretty much the show, guys. We talked about there was like a 6-7 match on Money in the Bank, and we're gonna come back here on YouTube to review. The next review possibly we're going to do is NXT. It's not the Great American Bash, but they have a show. It's not Great American Bash, right? I gotta look at the thing. I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna tell you
Is it?
guys. It's a NXT show. It is Great American Bash.
When
You
is
even
it?
had the 30th on a Sunday.
Okay, because I thought.
Mhm.
Okay. You
I'm
know
I,
what
I
confused me? It was July 4th because
mhm.
I just think about July 4th, think about Great American Bash. I don't know why. Don't
No,
ask me
that's fine,
questions.
and that's fine because I can see why. Because I would have thought that too, but it's a Great American Bash, uh, July 30th. It's going to be on Sunday. We plan on being back here, for the Big Pop Theory podcast. We'll probably be back here also with the UPR crew to do a collab here. But guys, you can also because we're gonna make this audio. So if you guys are listening on the audio, thank you. Follow us on the social medias. We have an Instagram at the Big Pop Theory Podcast. We have on Twitter the Big Pop _. And the beauty about that is you never know between the both of us who is tweeting. We have the Big
Yeah.
Pop Theory Podcast on TikTok. We're gonna put some content out there on there, and we plan on putting more content in here on YouTube. The Big Pop Theory Podcast. 23. We had to add a number because someone stole the Big Pop Theory. Like, how do you just what?
It's
What?
it's nasty work. It's I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Damian Priest.
I'm not gonna comment on that. I'm gonna move forward and just also sit there and say, Madam, you are so busy. Like you do so much. Like Thursday is like you just don't go outside on Thursday
No,
because
yeah,
you
don't
are
talk
just
to me on Thursday.
Thursday. I can only imagine. But what are you doing on Thursday, Madam?
Thursday, I have the Women's Wrestling Army after show. That is at 5 p.m. Then I have the NXT after show. That is at 7 p.m. Then I have at 8:30 Dark Side of the Ring review. We weren't able to do this past week because my co-host Katrina was out being amazing as always in Florida. Another con checks that off the list,
She's
but
killing it.
yes, yeah, absolutely. But she'll be back this coming Thursday. That's my partner, and we'll be doing I forgot what the other episode is, but Junkyard
It's
Dog.
Dr. Clown and
We already did doing. We already did doing.
it's Junkyard Dog, and I forgot who the next episode
Yeah,
is.
I didn't see what the next episode was. I can't tell, but definitely Junkyard Dog. So yeah, it's exciting. It's fun, and obviously I'll be back here for Big Pop Theory. Also, tomorrow I will be on Turnbuckle Glam with amazing people. And this will be for Women's Wrestling Talk podcast. So definitely look into that.
There you go. And you can catch me on Tuesday. I will be reviewing with Wrestling Doll. We'll be reviewing NXT. I don't think there's a special theme show. I'm just assuming because
it's just July 4th.
It is 4th of July, so we'll be there. And also, I am reviewing with the Trio of Destiny on Unpopular Review. We are reviewing, what is this show called? It is called Secret Invasion. So you can, I had to look up what the show it was that you guys are reviewing, but it's Junkyard Dog and Adrian Adonis is what you guys are reviewing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about that show. I watched the first episode and I said I will never watch another episode because of what they did. What they did was nasty and evil. I'm talking about Secret Invasion.
I kid you not. Funny enough, when I was watching Secret Invasion, and maybe this could be saved after the show, but I thought about cosplaying as Nick Fury, but then I realized I have a head full of hair, so I can't.
Oh my God, you wear a hat. Bald caps exist. Don't let your hair keep you away from a cool cosplay.
So what you're saying is shave my head.
Bald cap. Hello.
Okay. And that's the show. But you can catch us on Big Pop Theory Podcast. We said all the social medias, and you can also write us here at the Big Pop Theory Podcast at gmail.com if you have any questions. We plan on putting on more content here out on YouTube. We put an audio podcast. We record on a Sunday. We put it out for Monday after 12. It's a great time. It's fun. And we hope you guys continue to follow us. We're trying to grow this podcast. And it grows because of you guys. So we sit there and say, have a great, it is night because it's 8. Oh, man, Collision is on. We're missing it. That's fine. But thank you guys for tuning in for this Money in the Bank review. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I am the bad guy, a.k.a. the Grand Poobah. She is the fantastic, incredible, and amazing Shay Sawyer. And we sit here and say thank you and have a great night.